Hi, I'm Barry Garcia with NanLite, and today we're going to talk about the MixPanel 60 and 150. Now, the difference between the 60 and 150 is pretty much the size. The 60 is the smaller version, and the 150 is a little bit bigger than a 1x1. I like to say that the MixPanel is the flagship light for NanLite because it does give you all these different options that you can work with. Now, to start with, the actual fixture itself is a metal frame with carbon fiber overlay. And what that does is the metal frame is actually the heat sink that helps to alleviate some of the heat that the light creates. On the CCT mode, or correlated color temperature mode, you have the ability to create hard light and soft light. Now, how do you do that in one fixture? We created a way to have a edge lit light that creates soft light. The lights in the back are actually hard light coming through the panel itself, so it allows it to have a much harder specular look to it. Part of the CCT mode is also the ability to be able to change color temperature. The mix panels actually give you a wide variable range of color temperature, anywhere from 2700 degrees Kelvin all the way up to 7500 degrees Kelvin, where we get a much more blue look to it. On the CCT mode, you can actually select the second knob and be able to go through the different CCT color temperatures: 2700, 3200, 4300, 5600, 63, and then 75. It just gives you the ability to toggle through those, and you can figure out what color temperature you want to work from. They also give you the ability on the CCT mode to have what we call hue shift, to add magenta or green so that you can match lights in a house light situation, or maybe match another LED that's out there on the market. One of the other things that you can check on your CCT mode, which will be your brightness level from 0 to 100. Because this light is so bright, it has to go down to 0. We can't stop at 10% like a lot of the other people in the market do. It's one of those things where it's a very, very bright light depending on what it is that you need. Now, one of the cool things about the mix panel is the 150 and the 60 both have the HSI mode. HSI stands for Hue, Saturation, Intensity. What that does is it gives you 360 degrees of color to be able to choose from. We can start at 0 and 360, and that's our red color. We can roll all the way through the 360 and get all the different colors that we could possibly imagine, much like what we learned when we were kids in kindergarten with a color wheel. It just allows you to pick out any color that you might need to create with. And HSI gives you the ability to add saturation or take it away. So if you want it to be really, really saturated and the color to be really vibrant, it's very easy to do that. Or you can dial down that saturation, add white to it, and really mute those colors. So what's the difference between HSI and RGBW? Good question. HSI, what we just talked about, has the ability to create whatever color you want to. Well, RGB kind of does that as well. It allows you to go into and actually pick your red, greens, and blues and adjust to the color that you really want. The white also can be adjusted, so again, we can adjust that saturation and allow you to have either a really vibrant color or something that's much more desaturated and a little more muted. So one of the other great features that is on the mix panel is the ability to create with gels. Now, the gels button actually allows you to start with two different sources, 3200K or 5600K. And with both of those, you can actually lay the gels over the top of those colors and get what you're looking for the light output. Now, gels that we have 5 CTBs, we have 5 CTOs, and we have like 33 color calibrated colors that are on there. Anything from lavender to magenta to yellow to green, purple, blue, lots of different colors for you to kind of create whatever it is that you might need. Another great feature that we have on the mix panel is the ability to create effects. Now, the mix panel has effects already cooked in. You can do paparazzi, you can do disco, you can do pulse flash, you can do police cars, candle fire, all kinds of different things that you can create. But what makes it very unique is the ability to be able to create within those specific effects. And what I mean by that is we can get down into the minutia of how fast this is going, how much saturation it has, how much color it needs. Do we need the candle fire to be just this slow so it adds that effect? Being able to create that and creating that effect out of the light is a very powerful tool. The other nice thing about that, though, is that the mix panel actually allows you to save that for what you created into a preset. And the preset gives you the ability to recall that whenever you might need it. Now, the mix panel gives you a lot of options, and that's what we've been discussing. One of the really cool things is the ability to control the fans and the output of the light. Now, in the menu mode, you can actually choose 3 different modes of lighting output. And what I mean by that is there is a silent mode, there is a normal mode, and then there is a boost mode. Now, what does that have to do with the fans? This is how it works. In silent mode means no fans at all, but you only get 50% of the light's output. In normal mode, the fans are on, but they're whisper quiet, and you're only getting 75% of the light's output. In boost mode, you're getting full fans and a full 100% of what that light has to give you. One of the great features on the MixPanel is the fact that you can actually run it with V-mount batteries. Now, there's a big difference between the 150 and the 60. The 150 actually uses the new type of battery, which is the 26 volt, starting to become popular on the market. It is very easy for you to use and looks pretty much the same, just a little bit bigger. But it gives you the ability to be able to run and do all the things that you need to do on the 150 and still have that power output. Whereas the 60 uses the 14.8 volt batteries, and these batteries give you the ability to be able to take these fixtures out into the world and use them however you see fit. Another great feature on the MixPanel is the fact that you have DMX 512 in and outs. So it's a 5-pin DMX. It allows you to be able to go in and out and daisy chain lights together, whether up in the studio or just high up on a stand, and you can control it remotely. Now, the nice thing about these as well is that we have our internal system, the CNW2, which actually allows you to be able to control these lights with an app. And lastly, with this, you're able to actually update the firmware on this fixture. So later on, when they add more gels or more effects or things like that, you're going to be able to update your fixture right away. Now, NanLite gives you all of the different things that you might need to be able to work with the light. And the MixPanel 150 and 60 both have the barn doors that come with them. They even have a little bracket that actually allows you to attach it to the yoke so you don't lose them. There are a lot of modifiers that are available for this, and we've got some new stuff that's coming out as well that you should be on the lookout for. But softboxes with grids, as well as remote controls and apps. So check out the MixPanel. It's worth your while. Thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, you can go check us out at nanliteus.com. Or if you have any questions about the specific video, you can ask below.